Back on the show, guys. Got an exciting one here for you. We are talking about 5 fantasy football draft steals, guys. Steals. And you can call them fantasy football sleepers. I don't care. I want to call them draft steals, because if you're in a draft and you're getting these guys at the ADP they're currently at, it is literally robbery. Fantasy football robbery. That's what this is. I cannot get over how amazing the value is on these players and how much upside there is in these particular 5 players. Now, I did say 5 players, but I've actually got like 7 here for you guys. So I've got some bonuses here because there's a 1-2 combo, which I'll explain in a second. Now, once you guys listen to this episode, it's really eye-opening. And that's what I want to do. I want to open people's eyes. I don't want everybody to be drafting just predicated on ADP. Now, you can draft based on ADP, but you got to know which people to avoid, which people are going to break out, and know when to draft them, know when to snipe those amazing players. So in this episode, again, I'm going to give you guys 5 steals, and I want you guys to wake up to the rankings. They're not going to help you guys. They're consensus. They're sheep BS rankings, right? Last year, Najee was outside the top 10. Right, Ayuk was ahead of Debo, right? Robert Woods is ahead of Cooper Kupp, right? So you got to be aware of that. You got to see things before they happen. And this episode, by listening to shows like this with these draft steals, you're going to be like, oh, wow, that does make sense. Wow, I'm woken up. I can't believe these guys are ranked so low when they could be like a top 5, top 10 receiver, for example, right? Now, huge episode. I'm going to dive in here. Before I do, this show is brought to you by Manscape.com. Guys, in my hands right here, if you're in the car, go check these out. They're beautifully displayed here. I got the Manscaped Boxers, okay, 2.0. These are probably the most comfortable things I've ever worn in my entire life. I would wear them on my face if I had to. They are so comfortable. Go get them now. Now, here's the cool thing. When you go to manscaped.com, use promo code SHOWERLINE20. There's already a discount. I was on browsing yesterday. There was like a 37% discount. Now, again, their discounts vary on the site, but there was like a huge discount on these. And then you can go ahead and add an extra 20% off with ShowerLine20. So you're getting an amazing value while everyone's paying full price. So again, guys, ShowerLine20 upon checkout. Try the boxers, try the cologne. I've got the deodorant right here. Amazing product, guys. Smells like, I'm opening it up right now, guys. Smells fresh, super amazing. Just try the product and let me know. DM me, let me know how the product turned out. I mean, don't send me pictures of your underwear, obviously. I don't want to see it, but let me know how it went for you. Do you guys enjoy the product? Is it nice? Does it work for you? So let me know. Love to get some feedback on your Manscaped products as you guys are purchasing them, okay? ShowerLine20, manscaped.com. Go treat yourself right now. And also get that 16-round draft solution so you have all the optimal places to draft in each round. And once you hear me talk and explain these 5 steals, you'll understand that my methods work and my methods are effective. It'll start resonating with you. Now, if you are new, subscribe, thumbs up, all right? And let me know which draft steal you guys think. Want to make it interactive in the comments below. Drop a comment, guys. I want to make it interactive. I will try to get back to as many people as I can. Drop a question. I'll try to get to as many people as I can. I want to make this interactive, but let me know below who you think is a draft steal. Love to get your feedback, all right? Now, I did an episode recently on 4 draft steals. One of them I've included back in here because I just can't stop thinking about it. And then there's going to be 4 new ones, again, 2 bonuses, all right? So let's dive into it here. The first one here, which was in my last episode with the 4 draft steals, if you guys were listening, if you guys, are subscribed to the channel, you didn't miss it. And again, there's a lot of the guys in that 4 draft steal episode I wanted to talk about it again because there's just amazing steals, but I wanted to change it up, obviously, right? So the first one, again, was the only one included. The other one was Zeke Elliott. Now, Zeke Elliott is currently sitting, guys, right now, 17th on the consensus, on the consensus rankings amongst running backs. That, to me, is a steal. He's sitting 36th overall in the rankings. I'll tell you why it's a steal, okay? Now, I did have the beat writer on, John Machado. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm terrible with these names. We're going to continue to have the beat writers. I've linked the Impact series below where I do outlooks on all the teams. And he's telling us that Zeke's still going to eat. Now, last year, he told me that he was dealing with a partially torn PCL. He was banged up. And when you look at his numbers last year, guys, Zeke Elliott still finished top 7 amongst running backs with a partially torn PCL. 237 attempts, 1,000-yard rushing, 4.2 yards per carry, and 10 touchdowns. And he was banged up, and Pollard got integrated more. This year, I can imagine that 237 attempts going back up to 250. Remember, he was a 300 attempt guy. Now with McCarthy, things have changed, different offense. Pollard got integrated. But understand, guys, Amari Cooper is gone. How much do they trust their new receivers with Tolbert and Gallup going to be banged up, for the first couple games of the season or whatever? I don't know how long he's going to be out for. And then they've got CeeDee Lamb. And I know they got some options. I think Dalton Schultz takes a step up. But when you look at a guy like Ezekiel Elliott, they're going to rely on their best player. And I still think I know he's the best player on the offense. He's a team and a locker room leader. Zeke Elliott is still going to get fed. Feed Zeke. Remember all that? I understand he's getting older. I know a lot of people are giving up. But here's where the draft steal comes in, right? This is why he's such a steal. The guy's coming off in the third round. You are getting yourself an RB1 in the third round that's almost, I would say, if healthy, which, again, Zeke Elliott has been pretty much his entire career, is going to finish top 10 amongst running backs. And he is well out of the top 10. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous what the sheep do, right? It's absolutely ludicrous. Their rankings are out of whack. And here's the thing. You're like, why do I care about the sheep rankings? I care because I can capitalize on their sheep mentality, because this is how drafts are done. They're predicated on these ADPs. So when I see a guy like Zeke in the third round, I'm all over that steal, and I see things. That's why the 16-round draft solution, if you have not got it, go pull over, pause the video, link below, or just Google 16-round draft solution. Watch the video, learn what it's about, get 16 rounds, experience 16 rounds, because again, that'll put you light years ahead of the competition. Video training, sleepers, breakouts, and use code TUBE20, TUBE20, save yourself 20%. Because again, this is the type of thing that's going to help you guys. Lion mentality, guys. That's why I put a lion on the 16-round draft solution logo, is because you're thinking outside the box, you're hunting, you're gathering, you're stealing these amazing players when sheep aren't seeing it. So again, Zeke Elliott, amazing numbers last year, top 7 amongst running backs. I got him again in the top 10 in my rankings, but I won't be drafting him in the top 5, first, second round. I'm going to be drafting him in the third round, okay? I'm going to get him at his ADP, which is phenomenal. He's still solid, still a workhorse, and at RB3, as part of a robust RB package, right? You get Henry, you come back around, you get Saquon, then you get yourself a Zeke Elliott. There, you got some awesome, robust RBs going into the season. Now you don't got to worry about running backs. Then you can devour some of these wide receivers, which I'm going to get into right now, which are absolute draft steals, all right? So Zeke Elliott, number 1. Again, I talked about him in my other video. Let's get to some new stuff right now, okay? Again, if you're new, subscribe. I'm excited. Okay, number 2. Now, this is a 1-2 punch, and the guy I'm talking about is Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. Both these guys are steals, and here's what blows my mind. Here's why I'm looking at it like a kid in a candy shop. I'm a kid again at Christmas, whatever you want to call it. I'm giddy. I'm excited about these prospects and these steals in this video, because I'm looking at Jeudy and I'm looking at Sutton. I'm seeing Jeudy sitting 25th amongst wide receivers in PPR amongst wide receivers, and Sutton sitting 20th amongst wide receivers. So Judy's 57th overall. Sutton is 52nd overall in overall rankings, okay? You've got Russell Wilson throwing the ball. Now, as I recall, because I keep receipts, Tyler Lockett and Metcalf did okay last year, and they were both ranked relatively high in the rankings. Metcalf was like a top 10 wide receiver last year in the rankings. Now, last year in standard finished top 10, Metcalf did, and finished 14th in PPR amongst wide receivers. Lockett throughout the years is always not too far behind. Last year didn't have the greatest season, okay? But when I'm looking at these guys, I'm seeing another Lockett and Metcalf. I'm seeing a fresh situation. I'm seeing Russell Wilson, who wants to thrive, who wants to do well on his team this year. I'm seeing amazing value. I'm seeing wide receiver 1 written all over it. Now you're saying, who is the wide receiver 1? I did an episode. I brought the beat writer in. Again, I linked it below in the Impact series. He is leaning towards, I'll give you an answer, but you should watch the episode with the beat writer that I had on Denver Broncos Impact. But he's leaning a little bit more towards Jerry Jeudy. I talked to the Seahawks ambassador. He's leaning towards maybe the volume guy again, Jeudy. My gut feeling is saying Jeudy as well. I still think Sutton's got the experience. And the reason that I'm hesitant on Jeudy is because he had years to wow us. We're not wowed. Combined 3 touchdowns in the past 2 seasons, hasn't been able to stay really healthy and get going. But in his defense, hasn't had a good quarterback throwing on the ball. Now he's got the opportunity here with Russell Wilson, who has made wide receivers very viable. We talked about Lockett in the past. We talked about Metcalf, right? And these guys are, one of them, if not both, are going to be wide receiver 1, wide receiver 1B, and you're getting them for immense value. So which round do you get them in? Again, based on ADP, you're looking at around rounds as early as 4, as late as 6, maybe even a 7 if they fall. I doubt it, though, depending on how many people are in your league, right? So 12-person league, I'd say average it out to around round 5, you're getting one of these guys, okay? So, again, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at the steal. I'm looking at the value. Love the opportunity here. Russell Wilson, ignited career, absolute draft steal. I think you're good with either one. And, again, if one of them busts, you're going to have a ton of depth on your roster to cover yourself. You'll be good, all right? So, Number 2, I'm going to say Jerry Jeudy, okay? Number 3, another 1-2 punch combo. I'm going to give you guys a bonus here, and I'll tell you what I did in regards to drafting these guys. Allen Lazard and Christian Watson. Allen Lazard sitting 45th amongst wide receivers right now. Christian Watson sitting 68th. Who's Christian Watson? The number 1 rookie picked up by the Packers this season in the second round. Amazing receiver, big hands. Now, he's had some issues in the past with drops. Again, I don't care because Jamar Chase had issues with drops in preseason last year, so I'm not going to put a lot of weight into that. So I'm looking at this. I am seeing, guys, this is amazing. I am seeing Allen Lazard come off in round 8, okay? Round 9, round 10. I'm seeing Christian Watson come off in a round that's just a round or two after that. I am seeing Aaron Rodgers, potential wide receiver 1, come off the board after the 8th, 9th, 10th round, okay? I personally, what I've been doing is I've been fading Allen Lazard and getting Watson a couple rounds later, okay? I got him, I think, in a money league in the 10th round, $2,000 buy-in league, got Christian Watson in the 10th round. Now, the only knock to Christian Watson is, again, we've seen Aaron Rodgers historically kind of fade those rookies. He likes those guys he's built rapport with. And Allen Lazard last year had himself a decent campaign. We had, 60 targets, 40 receptions, 513 yards, 8 touchdowns. Now, that was with what's his name? Adams. How can I forget? I'm thinking multiple things. Adams having 169 targets last year and being Aaron Rodgers' wide receiver 1. And again, I'm just trying to formulate the situation here. Lazard, again, he's going to get more volume. Could be the wide receiver 1. There was a statement mentioned by Aaron Rodgers recently stating that he's excited about Lazard taking that wide receiver 1 leap. Although I still think athletically, again, I had the Packers guy on, Basarowski on. Check out his YouTube channel, Basarowski. Had him on. Again, check the Impact Series. He's thinking, Lazard could be the one, but Watson is more athletic. And I agree. Christian Watson athletically is the most talented one. But it's up to who Aaron Rodgers will force feed or just trying to kind of gravitate to. Now, it could be a spread ball. It could go around, multiple places. But I still think Lazard could be the one, but Watson could take over that wide receiver 1 position as that rapport gets built. But the point I'm trying to make here is not so much how much volume they're going to get right now. It's mainly focused on these guys being steals. You're getting Aaron Rodgers, potential wide receiver 1 for an absolute steal. I'm all over it. And what blows my mind here, guys, and it's absolutely mind-blowing, okay? You've got these cores. You got Jeudy and Sutton. You got Lazard and Watson, who've got better quarterbacks throwing them to them. Then you've got Adams and Renfro. Like, Adams is ranked in the top 10. Tyreek Hill's ranked in the top 10. But that's based on last year's quarterbacks throwing to them, right? They've got a downgrade at quarterback. You can't tell me, anyone in the comments below who wants to be brave enough to tell me that Tua, okay, and Derek Carr are better than Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. I'd like to challenge you guys if you guys think that's possible. Well, you're saying, well, Joe, the receivers are better. Yeah, but sometimes, you know what? Not even sometimes, all the time, the quarterback is what makes the wide receiver. So Adams is not going to have, Aaron Rodgers force feeding him 169 targets throughout the year. It's just not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. And they've got Renfro there, peaked at 128 targets. And they've got Waller in 2020, who was the number 1 wide receiver at tight end, who peaked at 145 targets. If his 2 wide receivers, Carr in 2020 and 2021, have not eclipsed 145 targets as their number 1 wide receiver, and they're still there, how mathematically is Adams going to get and duplicate last year's numbers, and he's copied and pasted to last year? Absolutely ludicrous. Fading Adams, fading Hill, fading that early draft capital on those receivers, getting the value in the wide receivers, the steals I'm getting here, and I'm going to get running backs early on. Again, I explained that in the 60-round draft session. Always aiming high on my depth chart, all right, guys? You got to be a visionary if you want to win at fantasy football, and that's what I do, all right? Number 4 here, another steal. Again, Lazard, man, just a steal. Watson, steal. Maybe you can get both, and you're securing a wide receiver 1, in the round 8 or 9, 10, right? Jerry Jeudy, you're getting a wide receiver 1. After round 5, 6, you've got your running back, and you're stacking these guys. And again, most rosters only have 2 wide receiver spots, so you're guaranteeing yourself a wide receiver because you're getting all these stacks of wide receivers later after you've got your robust RBs early. Amazing, guys, all right? Number 4 here, I'm not going to spend too much time because he is a rookie, but Drake London here, 6'4", 200-plus pounds, big wide receiver, ran a 4.5 at the Combine. First-round pick, guys, in his draft. First-round pick in the draft. 8th overall. Atlanta Falcons do not have another wide receiver. They do not. They have Kyle Pitts, who you can also stack. You get Kyle Pitts round 3, you get yourself Drake London round 5, you got the stack, and you're getting another wide receiver 1 potentially on the Atlanta Falcons. I don't care if Mariota's throwing the ball. He's going to be efficient. He's going to move the ball down the field. They're going to get their volume. They're going to get fed. These guys are NFL quarterbacks. I don't care how crappy they play. I mean, we're not talking about a super crappy quarterback. Mariota has started before. He's a veteran. He's going to feed the ball to Drake London. He's a big body. He's going to come down with the ball. He's going to get a lot of touchdowns. And the guy's sitting 95 overall. 95 guys, 39th amongst wide receivers. And he's a wide receiver 1. That is a steal. I'm stealing him in round 6. Sometimes he's falling a little later, depending on your league mates who might not know who he is. Absolute steal, guys. Drake London, love him. All right, guys. And number 5 here, not as exciting on paper, but when you look at the value and look at how much of a steal he is, sitting 97 overall and 41 amongst wide receiver. 41, we're talking Christian Kirk, the guy that set the trend, the guy with the chip on his shoulder that everyone's been talking about, saying, how did Christian Kirk get the money that he did? The, what is it, 4 year, 84 million plus bonuses and all that. Guys, I had the beat writer on. Again, check out the Impact series. I can't tell you enough, from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you have to pay a wide receiver that much to get him over to Jacksonville. So his number is a little inflated, right? I understand. But again, you got to pay a person to go to a losing team. They got Kirk, and he wasn't that bad last year when you look at his stats with Arizona. Now you're going to say, well, Joe, he's getting a bit of a downgrade at quarterback. Is he though? Is he getting a downgrade, or is Trevor Lawrence going to take a step up this year? He was the first overall pick last year. Trevor Lawrence is not a slouch. He had a bad O-line last year, getting into the groove, could really start connecting with Kirk and be special. And again, Kirk last year, 103 targets, 77 receptions, 982 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And he had volume, like people around him. He was never the true one. Now he takes that true one role. Is it gonna translate to points? I know it'll translate to volume, but either way, I'm getting Christian Kirk as my wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 1 upside and Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball. And again, do not sleep on Trevor Lawrence. This is the year for him as a make or break. Christian Kirk's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's ranked 41st amongst wide receivers. And again, what blows my mind here, guys, when we're talking fantasy football draft strategy, and I'm looking at this, you got a guy like T. Higgins, who's a wide receiver too, coming off in the 2nd or 3rd round. You got a guy like Jalen Waddle, who peaked at 141 targets last year, and they brought in Tyreek Hill, who's also pretty much in the top 10. Waddle's sitting number 15th in PPR right now. His ADP's dropped down a little bit. Higgins and Waddle, top 15 wide receivers, when there's so many other wide receiver 1s available that are going to supersede and pass them in production, points, and volume. I'm looking at it. It's like a kid at a candy store. I'm excited. Christmas morning when I was like 5 years old again. I'm seeing a lot of value here at wide receiver. So again, it was kind of a wide receiver focus here, and there is running back deals as well. Might do a separate video on that. And I did a bunch of, go back a couple of videos, maybe it was about a month ago. I did 4 wide receiver steals, and I included guys like Breece Hall in there. So again, there is running back steals, there's quarterback steals, there's wide receiver steals, and all of that is in the 16-round draft. So you can use code TUBE20, get it right now. But man, oh man, so much value at wide receiver and running back as well if you get the right ones this year, and the sheep consensus rankings will not help you fade those rankings. Right, guys? Subscribe, thumbs up. I appreciate you guys being here. And again, steal these players in your fantasy football drafts. Leave a thumbs up if you got some value here, and we'll talk soon. I'm out.